Hi everyone, welcome back to History Term 1. So for this term, we're going to be looking at settlement within the Caribbean region. Now before we can think about the settlement, let's think about different areas within the Caribbean, different elements that make up the Caribbean region that we know today. So we have the Greater Antilles, we have the Lesser Antilles, Belize, the Bahamas, and the Guyanas. Now, you might be looking at Belize and you're thinking, okay, isn't this a country? Isn't this an island? Why would it have to be an element or a separate part of the Caribbean region? Well, let's find out. So, history has told us that the Caribbean has been made up of mostly water, but with so many countries, we need to understand the knowledge of each element that we see here on the board to really understand why is it that these countries or islands can be classified as Caribbean while others may not necessarily be classified as being a part of the Caribbean. Now, the Caribbean region has always been interpreted to mean or describe all the countries which are located in and around the Caribbean Sea. And as you can see here, the Caribbean Sea spreads from Grand Bahama Island in the north to Curacao down in the south, and from French Guyana in the east to Belize in the west. So this is the latitude and the longitude of the Caribbean Sea that we know that surrounds our very island, Jamaica. Now, the Greater Antilles is a term used to describe the 4 largest islands within the Caribbean, and they're all listed in order from largest to smallest. So Cuba, Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico. So Cuba is the first largest Caribbean country, while Jamaica is the third, Puerto Rico being the smallest. Now, Hispaniola, of course, if you didn't already know, is used to describe the combination of Haiti and Dominican Republic as one island. Now, each island within the Greater Antilles, they contain different complex mountain ranges, different extensive plains that make their landscape very unique. Now we have the Lesser Antilles. The Lesser Antilles are countries which are relatively smaller. They take up about 2% of the entire surface area within the entire Caribbean region. They're very small. In some cases, for example, where we would have Trinidad and Tobago, it wasn't always Trinidad and Tobago. They weren't always twin islands. They were separate, so you would have Trinidad and then Tobago. But because of how small these islands were, and small in the sense that you could actually drive around its entire border in just a day, this is the need for these countries to become one, for more economic development and overall. Now, the Lesser Antilles can be divided into 2 major parts, the Leeward Islands and the Windward Islands. And as you can see here, the Leeward Islands are more to this side, while the Windward Islands are over here. Now, some examples of the Windward Islands would be Trinidad, Barbados, St. Vincent, while examples of the Leeward Antilles would be the ABC Islands that we know as Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. Now, another element of the Caribbean would be the Bahamas. Now, the Bahamas consist of over 2,700 small islands. And interestingly, the Bahamas is referred to as an archipelago. An archipelago is, of course, a chain of islands, but the Bahamas is actually the largest archipelago in the entire world. The Bahamas contains a lot of old rocks, a lot of coral limestone deposits that contribute to the fertility of the Caribbean region in and of itself. And as you can see here, these are just some of the islands within the Bahamas. Of course, the capital being Nassau, and the Bahamas is the closest Caribbean country to the United States. Now, physically, Bahamas would not be referred to as a Caribbean island, mainly because an island has to be completely surrounded by a sea. And if you notice, the Bahamas is not one conjoined structure, it's rather a whole archipelago with thousands of islands around it. And also, we're seeing the Caribbean Sea down the bottom, while the Atlantic Ocean is to the far right. Now we have the Guyanas. There are 3 territories on the Guyanese coastal plain of South America, Guyana, being Suriname and French Guyana, along with the Guyana that we know close to Venezuela. Now, these territories occupy the seaward edge of an ancient geological feature known as the Guyana Shield. Because of the physical shape of this structure, it is described as a shield because that's what it resembles. And here we're seeing the three Guyanas, so Guyana, Suriname, and French Guyana. And now we have Belize. This is indeed an English-speaking country whose coast forms the western edge of the Caribbean Sea. It occupies a small part of the Yucatan Peninsula, which is made up of mostly limestone of about 40 million years old. Now, the country may be considered as an island, but its physical location revokes this status. Now, these are all the elements that make up the Caribbean region. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in our next class when we'll talk more about the different trade winds and the Caribbean Sea and how these features enhance the Caribbean region.